You can eat clean, take every supplement, do everything right, and still not heal. I used to think that meant that I just hadn't found the right protocol yet. But here's what I eventually learned, and what almost nobody explains. Your body has to feel safe before it can actually repair anything. Today, I'm going to walk you through what your stress response is doing under the surface, why just relax advice never works, and what to do instead. Because this piece changed everything for me and my clients, and I think it'll do a lot for you too. First, we're going to start with talking about what the fight or flight actually does in your body. So, fight or flight isn't just feeling stressed. It's your body diverting real physical resources away from anything not needed for immediate survival. So, what actually happens is your blood flow shifts away from your digestion and towards your muscles. Your cortisol and adrenaline spike, your digestion slows or even stops, your immune function dips, and the body holds on to inflammation longer. Your body cannot tell the difference between a tiger chasing you, a financial stress, hard conversation with your spouse, or a too tight calendar. It responds the same exact way. And that is really hard because that then means that in this lifestyle that we're living, oftentimes our digestion's not working at all. And that is not helpful for our health. So if you're the mom who's been fine all day, running from school pickup to dinner to homework help, and your body is in this low-grade fight or flight the entire time without one dramatic moment to point to, it's just this constant running from here to there, constant drive living underneath the surface, I'm talking to you. It's not a personality flaw or a weakness. It's your body doing exactly what it's designed to do, just at the wrong time and for too long. And over time, the longer we allow our bodies to do this, the more it starts to wear out and then start to scream at us with symptoms. And this is where a lot of women in their 30s and early 40s start talking about perimenopause. It's not necessarily because you're entering that phase. It's more just because you're overstressed for too long and your body's getting worn out. And so we need to strengthen your body physically, emotionally, and spiritually to get you as strong as you possibly can. Today we're going to focus on just that emotionally piece and why just telling yourself to calm down and relax isn't going to do it. The nervous system responds to signals, not instructions, and it needs evidence of safety, not just a mental decision. So you can try to remind your body to relax, but that's not going to make it feel safe. That's like if you have a smoke detector going off in your house, you can tell it to be quiet, but it needs the smoke to actually clear out before it stops making the noise. Unfortunately, common relaxation advice doesn't actually teach the nervous system to calm down. When we're scrolling on the couch because we're burnt out and we're trying to chill, that's actually not calming our nervous system. Drinking that glass of wine, not doing it either. Binge watching a show, usually not, especially not if it's a stressful one. These things can feel like we're resting, but it's not signaling safety to the body. So many women have tried to white knuckle their way to calm and feel like they're failing when it didn't work, but that's not the situation. We're told that self-care is selfish, but maybe when you're doing those things that aren't actually replenishing you. However, when we're learning to calm our nervous system and creating that peace within us so that our body can repair, we're more able to pour out to others around us. So again, If you saw last week's video, I touched a little bit on the vagus nerve. I want to go back to that because it's actually a very, very important piece of our health and our healing. The vagus nerve is the main communication line between the gut and the brain. The information runs on this line both directions constantly, but 80% of its fibers go from the gut to the brain, not the brain to the gut, which I think is very surprising for a lot of people and very important. This vagus nerve is the main highway of the parasympathetic nervous system. That is the rest and digest side as opposed to the fight or flight. So this vagus nerve is talking more to the brain than the brain's talking to the gut. And that's the real foundation of this gut-brain connection that I typically talk about in all of my stuff. This vagus nerve controls your heart rate, triggers your stomach acid, enzyme production, gut motility, your immune response, mood regulation, all through this one nerve. And when it's working well, when you have high vagal tone, your body shifts in and out of stress states really efficiently. But when it's underactive, the body has a harder time switching between that fight or flight and then back into rest and digest. So this is the mechanism behind everything that we're talking about. So again, I want to make sure you understand that this is a loop. Stress signals from the brain slow down the digestion, increases the gut permeability, and then the irritated gut sends distress signals back up to the brain. The brain interprets those signals as more threat, so it creates more stress hormones that get released, which then slows the digestion even more, creates more inflammation in that gut. And this is why anxiety and digestive issues often show up together, and why only treating the physical body doesn't always work for people, and why just focusing on diet alone isn't going to make that whole healing help. We need to treat both sides of the loop, gut and mindset. Otherwise, we're going to stall out. This is the same exact loop we mentioned in video 6, and I probably will be mentioning it in the next video as well. It's kind of the running thread underneath everything I do in my practice. So for a minute, I want to widen the lens a little bit. A nervous system that's stuck in survival mode doesn't just affect digestion. It affects nutrient absorption, bone density, sleep quality, skin, hormones, mood. Almost everything that has to do with our body is controlled by this nervous system. And so when a body prioritizes immediate survival functions, it deprioritizes maintenance functions like rebuilding bone, repairing tissue, and digesting our food because it thinks it's under a threat. And so it's trying to survive. It's trying to run away from that tiger. It's sending all of its signals to the muscles and the blood and the heart and getting away from that tiger. And I talk about some of this even more with bone health in another video, but the short version is your supplements can only do so much if your body doesn't feel safe enough to use them. So let's talk about some real doable practices to calm the nervous system. We're not talking about ice baths, an hour-long routine, or anything that adds more pressure to an already full day. Some really simple practices that you can incorporate into your day is some extended exhaled breathing or a large sigh. So when you say, that helps your body signal safety to your nervous system. Or if you take a deep breath in and you exhale longer than you breathed in, if you repeat that a few times, maybe even a minute, a couple times a day, that really helps that nervous system calm down. I even had a mentor one time tell me that every time I switched between tasks, I need to take 2 cleansing breaths, 2 deep breaths to help cleanse and move on. Because a lot of times we go from thing to thing to thing in our day, and our body builds up all that emotion from each thing. It doesn't just leave it behind. And when we take those 2 calming breaths in between shifting topics, shifting conversations, it helps our nervous system let go of the stress from before and calm and be present. And so she even made me practice this when I was on a call with her and my little girl came in and interrupted. I was to take the 2 deep breaths to focus on what she had to say, and then take the 2 deep breaths again when it came time to come back to my conversation. And so it's something that you can practice very easily with just a little bit of focused, relaxed breathing throughout the day. Another really big helper on your vagus nerve is humming, singing, gargling, chanting. This vagus nerve runs right behind the throat, so any kind of vocal vibration stimulates it directly. Another really good vocal vibration is laughter. Laughter really helps stimulate that vagus nerve. A couple other things that you could try is trying to get outside within 30 minutes of waking up in the morning. I know 30 minutes is really hard. Even just sometime pretty early in your day really helps reset that circadian rhythm and helps regulate your cortisol. I've noticed a huge difference in my life. If I get outside first thing in the morning, whether I'm taking the dog for a walk, sitting on my patio, drinking a cup of coffee, as long as I'm outside letting that sunlight hit my body in those first 30 minutes, and mine might be a little more than 30 minutes, but I think it's right around there, I really notice a difference in my sleep pattern the following evening. So try to work on that. See if that helps set up your circadian rhythm and help regulate your cortisol a little bit. Another option for calming that vagus nerve is setting up some sort of small, consistent grounding ritual, something physical and repeatable that you can help calm your body with. So you could put your hand on your chest, you could put your feet on the floor, you can speak a specific Bible verse out loud. I have a lot of verses that I use as breath prayers. So there are a couple verses that I commit to memory that I use to help calm my body. So when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can pull out, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And it just helps me to reset and realize that I'm not trying to do this on my own power, but I am trusting in the Lord in doing what He's called me to do. Again, this prayer or stillness with the Lord is a practice that both helps calm your vagus nerve and improves your spiritual life. So when you can combine those, it ties back to helping to heal all the different roots at the same time. And again, I want to remind you, we're not talking about trying to implement all of these things all at once into our already busy, packed schedule. Just pick one. Pick one to try to add to your day at a regular time and make it a habit. Sometimes you can set alarms for throughout the day to remind you. Sometimes my watch reminds me. It hasn't been lately, but it definitely does when it senses I'm stressed. Will remind me periodically, take some slow, deep breaths. And it'll time me for a minute to take deep breaths and calm my body. I used to set alarms on my phone every 2 hours to take a couple deep breaths and make sure that I'm cleansing and calming my body. Again, it doesn't have to be everything, or even if you find yourself humming or singing, those are all very good things, and to incorporate those into your day wherever you can to help calm that nervous system. And again, all of the things that we talked about today, none of it was about willpower or restrictive diets or about doing more. It's about your body believing on a very physical level that it's safe enough to stop defending and start repairing. And that's the piece that gets left out of almost every health conversation, is we need to calm our bodies and help it to feel safe in order for it to heal and feel strong. So if any of this is resonating, I'm going deeper on this, the nervous system piece, the gut connection, all of it in a free webinar coming up. I'm going to drop the link below in the comments. And if you're not sure whether stress or your gut is the bigger root for you right now, take my free quiz. It's in the link there too. And if this kind of breakdown is helpful and educational for you, make sure you subscribe because I've got more of these root cause videos coming your way. We'll look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks. Talk to you soon.